Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Have the Race Gone for round 2 of the TSR Super Touring here from Brands Hatch it is. I'm of course DirtenDK and I am, well, good and nice. Just trying to shut myself up. Got a little bit confused about why there was a voice all of a sudden in my living room. But I found it was my own. I hope you're all doing well on this Thursday evening. We're not too far away from the start of the qualifying session. First for Swablu, otherwise known as ERT Ben. Nice to have you along, Martin as well. Morten. And just a quick, swift introduction of the format. Super Touring, of course, 380 brake horsepower, 1100 kilogram, and sports tires. We're running medium and soft compound, soft for the qualifying, and then there will be one soft set for each car for the race. And what we saw last week was that a couple of the drivers were actually able to carry through on that set of softs and make it last the entire distance. That's not bad at all. So see what kind of strategies will be deployed for the race tonight, which is Brands Hatch, of course, a legendary motor racing circuit. Hey Splurge, who's been testing? Oh, interesting indeed, and close stuff also here in practice. And we'll be running the new qualifying system, I was about to call it. I don't think that's quite the... But anyway, the qualifying system that was implemented in one of the relatively recent updates. Nova's on a very good pace here in the VLX car, by the way. So that'll be nice to see just how that works out. I hope you all will enjoy it. It's something I've been looking forward to. I had a chat with the TSR guys, and they were all ears. Struggling to get the words out of my mouth for a moment, but all ears they indeed were, and let's see how it works out for a Super Pole session. Tires and fuel times 4 in this series, and well, let's just let me just go through the standings. We've got Schosse having won the last race, 25 points, Nova on 22, T5 Black on 18, we've got Wake with 16, and Grosso 15, Jimmy 14, Welsh with 13, Sokyo 12, Flickflock 11, Kurt 10, Eddie 9, same goes for Stick in a single one for Splurge, who's the only one running without ballast. The heaviest impacted drivers in the ballast is of course Schosse, Nova, and T5 will be running 8, 7, and 6%, and the remainder of the grid will be on 3, 4, and 5% respectively. So a bit of an interesting twist. Mr. Raiola, hello. Storm, nice to have you along. Gary Lineker. Wow. Quentin Ryan, nice to have you along. So I hope everyone's doing nicely. I hope you're coping with this week in an orderly fashion. I was about to say, I hope it's all right. And looking forward to some good racing here as always. We've got Engrosso, the Portugueser, back from the Titty Cup. He's here with us for round 2 of the Super Touring. Yeah, Quentin, if you just saw the 86 in itself, you'd be excused. That's for sure. Here's one of these 86s, but a bit of a different setup, a bit of a different BOP, and of course the much less grippy tires make for an altogether different experience for the drivers with this series, and what we saw about with the first round as well. Evening 2 round robins and the Rabbit Gator. Nice to have you along. Welcome to gentlemen, we're about to start the qualifying sessions, meaning that all drivers who are participating should be getting to track somewhat soon. We have 10 drivers running at the moment, so there is information on GT Planet. Just a second, Quentin. I'll do my best to quickly find it for you and post you a link. There you are. And there you are. That. Go on board with the Engrosso if we can. Can I? So, weird. So that part of it works. Hello Mario, nice to have you along. Welcome to. Sorry for the short moment of bouncy heads there. I think I have to leave track and then go back into spectate mode before I can do anything about this. It seemed to be a little strange before. But that didn't let me do anything. Still have this bug here. I'll say I'll be right back. Oh, that's strange. And typo as well. So sorry about that, a little bit of a wait, but I have a bug where I can't change camera angles. And that's gonna be a problem. So I'll need to get that fixed. And very appropriately for the series, here is a Honda S660. Bit of inspiration for any championship arrangers out there. And it's all better. So we're good. Good to go. Which means that I believe we should be getting the qualifying session underway in a very short matter of time. Of course, I've completely failed to introduce Piolo, who's a TSR Italian that we have yet to see in any race here, so welcome to. And with that said, the qualifier is just about to begin. Of course, it's 5 minutes of time to get that single lap done, a single permitted lap. It is indeed the qualifying session. Tron, nice to have you along. Good to see you, it's been a while. I hope you're good. Out the pits they come for the outlap. Nice to see GT Welsh in the Lexus. Same goes for T5 Black. Of course, Nova in the 86. We've got Piolo and another Stang, so we've got 2 Stangs tonight. A couple of Stangs, then the Mew. Nice to have you along. Even though it'll be just be shortly, that's all good, mate. And of course, we do appreciate all likes. We like the likes. We're the likes that likes. Like, you know what I mean? So, outlap here. Brands Hatch, of course, it is not that long in the end, and that is the focal point of this series as well, keeping the tracks short within touring car tradition as well. It's actually one of the longest ones that we'll be racing on for this season, and it's in hopes to keep things simple, raceable, and that is exactly what these cars are here. GT Welsh first off to get that flying lap started through the final corner. And that's the Clark curve, of course it is. Just trying to remember, I'm doing my best to remember all the corner names for a track where every corner has a name. Seems to be a thing for the British circuits that they really want to do this year. As Welsh is exiting Druids down towards Graham Hill Bend. Critical point, the next left-hander Surtees onto the long straight containing the Pilgrim's Drop. You got the Pilgrim's Rise coming into Druids on the exit of Paddock Hill. And then the series, Hawthorns, Westville, and Dingledale. Oh, Dingledale! Sounds so Christmassy as we're entering. We're not entering, but we are closing in on the month of December. Things are indeed getting Christmassy soon, I expect. I'm sure one of the TSR lads can tell you that, Mario, because I'm not even sure anymore myself. So here it is, the first of the flying laps being completed here by GT Welsh. Let's see, what is it gonna be? It's been a good lap, it seems, no major mistakes, and it's a 1:33.7. Now mind you, you can see these lap times being set in that box in the bottom left hand of your screen, which certainly is gonna help me big time in noticing here. Piolo goes a little bit off pace there. Wake on a good lap time, and Sokio there with a 1:33.3 goes fastest. And then Grosso, the Portuguese, is second so far. Not bad at all. Morten has joined us. He's along. Nice. The shenanigan rumble. Shaz is still running in his Lexus. Let's see, Piolo is in second, or second and seventh. I seem to keep confusing those two. I don't know why. Anyway, Shaz is second fastest there, so still Sokio on position. Oh my god. And he did get tipped off there by VLX Nova in the end. 1:33.1. That's a very competitive lap time indeed. And I think that's the entirety of the grid having now qualified, and that's with just 30 minutes, or 30 minutes. I'm really on point tonight, as you can hear. 30 seconds remaining of the session, and that will mean that we'll get the racing underway in a minute or so. And that is what's new about this whole format, and that is what I've been waiting to present to you, because I think it just makes so much more sense to have the race just happen right after qualifying, for your sake as well. So don't go anywhere. We've got 3 minutes until the race start. So if you have to go anywhere, do so now within the next 3 minutes, and then duly return for the race start. So close indeed, nuke shot boys, so close to pole position. The sended rammers. That's brilliant. Brilliant, Rapid Gator. Oh, Ethan Hachiruku. I won't go any deeper into the realms of taking a piss of that Japanese accent, because Lord knows who might be watching, but nice to have long Ethan, the Traels boys here as well. Perfect timing, Traels. Perfect timing indeed. It couldn't be any better. Jack Wilkinson is even in the in the session. Got 9 cars on track. Is there someone I ain't seeing here? Or did someone drop out or something? Not really sure. Would that be T5? He's there? Not quite sure, to be honest. Ryan! Nice to have you along. And the arrows lads as well. I take it that that's Mr. Haiti. Haiti. Don't be a hater. Excuse me, my poor jokes. Just over a minute to go until we'll get the racing underway here from Brands Hatch indeed. VLX Nova is on pole position. I was wondering why I didn't see the car for a second, but of course Nova was entering the pits. We've got Sokio in the BMW M4 in second place, and that'll complete row 1 indeed. Third place on the grid, that'll be Chasse in the Lexus, and it'll be all Netso Racing row 2 with Chasse and Grosso, and I think it's Flickflock I'm not seeing. That's just poor luck for Flickflock. Oh, he DNF'd in the end, so that's the reason why I'm not seeing him. So 9 cars it is. Just about, but that don't mean we won't have any action indeed, with Welsh and Wake of TSR in the Lexus and Hyundai Genesis in row 3. In row 4 we've got Splurge and T5 Black, and then it is of course Piolo in 9th place in the Mustang. The second of the Stangs, and they are underway. It is green, and someone is stuck. I'm afraid. I am afraid that someone wasn't really... I don't know if someone wasn't present or whatever happened. That was Chasse standing still at the start. And it's been a brilliant run from Nova. Sokio holding on to second. In third it's T5 Black. And then Grosso Welsh going forward there. 4th, 5th. 6th is Wake. And then is Chasse. And you see T5 completely holding off here. Yeah, Traels, you've never tried that on your own, damn body heavy. Let's see here what happened to Chasse. He was in 3rd place. Oh, Splurge, that's... I don't think that was a bug though. But the lack of a formation lap certainly made a couple of drivers lose all form there on the starting procedure. And now VLX Nova is gonna clean run for it. And is now moving away from Sokio and Grosso in the Stang, moving on up as well. Same goes for Chasse, who's back up into 4th place, but I think Chasse is running some pretty heavy damage on the rear end of things though, as several cars head into the pits. That's basically everybody, I think. Oh, it's the formation lap. Oh yeah, I have got stuff locked down today. By the way, we have a special format where you actually have to do fueling on lap 1. We'll go around and have the actual start right about now. So, Mr. Pro Dirten here on point indeed. Goof indeed. Who's still in pits? That's a good question. Let's Splurge. Is it because of repairs or yeah, it is. And a full tank then for Splurge. And that's good to see. But this is better, at least, than damage and all types of trouble for many of the main contenders. Although I will give it, Martin, probably one of my goofiest moments yet. I don't remember being that thrown off by a formation lap before. I think it's happened once or twice, but not more than that. Although we can add one to that equation by now, that's for sure. Anyways, Nova getting safely around then Sokyo in that Netso Racing row 2 with Grosso Chasse, Welch and Wake. Row 3 then Piolo T5. Piolo, I think, is starting 9th. That's of course Splurge's job now to catch back up to the end of the field. And with that, front runners are now getting parked on the grid. What is Sokyo doing here? He's fishy shell at it. Oh, Sokyo's fishy shell at it. That's pure Giancarlo. Look at this. He was. What is he even doing? No, you're not supposed to park up there. So did we get the... Nope, we did not get the call on start time. Mind you, ladies and gents, the start will be determined by a set time that'll be told to us in just about a moment. 5 minutes and 10 seconds, so that's 10 seconds from now until we will go green. VLX Nova to the right. It's Sokyo to the left. 5 seconds it is then till we get the racing underway here. From Brands Hatch is the TSR Super Touring, and they're green, 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 green indeed. And that is Chasse with an absolutely flying start. Rarely have I seen anything from that. The Lexus absolutely flying into turn 1. Grabbing the lead from 4th place. Everybody getting bogged down with wheel spin there. We'll of course have another look at that start shortly, but Chasse flying up into 1st. Nova down into 2nd, then Welsh with a very good start. Rather disastrous, it has to be said, for Sokyo, who's he's fending off Welsh. They all seem to go a little wide, and Grosso fending off Wake, but Wake getting the better of the Portugueser. And this time around we are actually racing. Let's just see this from 3rd on the grid. It is Chasse with the... I'm gonna ask him if that was the best start of his career. Hopefully he'll give us some kind of Mika Häkkinen answer, but that was a very good start indeed from Chasse. Still holding on to it. He's got Nova for company in 3rd place. It's Sokyo, and I think there was a bit of dirt being kicked up further back in the field. Let's see here from the viewpoint of T5 Black what exactly went down. Seems it's Piolo and the Stang that's going wide. Manages though to keep the tail somewhat under control. Splurge in 9th place at the moment, of course heavy on fuel. And that 86 of his and Chasse. Oh, I just thought that for some reason Nova seemed to be just about to send it, but the grid is very close to the rear end of that Netso Lexus. Goes a little wide on the exit of Graham Hill. Oh, that's an outside send that might go very wrong for Nova. I think that just about... Oh, that's a good catch though. And that's gonna allow Welsh back in the battle. Welsh, who's gotten past as well. And that's of course on Sokyo. A bit of a moment there for Nova. Oh, as Welsh is now all over the rear end of the 86 in front. There's a bit of a love tap. Sokyo's now down into 4th place. It's Wake 5th and Grosso in 6th. The Portuguese are having made some kind of mistake, I think. Has fallen down the order at least. T5 7th, Piolo 8th, and it's then Splurge P9 at the moment. Nova doing well to defend it. There's a big gaggle here behind Sokyo in the battle for P4. Look at that Wake going around the outside. And is he going to make that stick? I think. Brilliant action here. We're on board with Engrosso, the Portugueser. And then, of course, it's Sokyo on the inside line into Paddock Hill. And Wake with the drive, and they're still side by side. That's impressive stuff indeed here. Sokyo goes for the dive. A little bit of a tap there, and Grosso does well just to follow on through. Might even get the run. But doesn't even get the exit on Wake in the end. This is brilliant racing. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And let's just have another look. That was a fairly long battle indeed. That's Sokyo. Well, the 86 is a car that you can actually afford about owning, or actually affordably dream about owning someday, Ethan. I totally get you. But anyways, look at this side-by-side stuff. Brilliant racing. And on we go, and it's still Sokyo, and just about, because just as we go back to the live action, the Nuke Shot Motorsports BMW goes wide and loses on that 4th place to TSR Wake, and I think actually Sokyo is going wide again. And T5's pitting in for some reason. There was some damage to be fixed on that car. Let's just have another look at what happened there behind. To that final sector. Oh yeah, Sokyo going where someone's gone before. It seems that someone spun there in the back of it. That's T5, I think. Or might have hit someone. Was that Splurge spinning? And big damage for Splurge the second. I just saw something blue in the background, and the mood will be very blue indeed from this one. Splurge the second loses it. Collects Piosko, I was about to say. That's far from optimal for those two, that is for sure, and they've lost big time on that already. Here, Schuss is still fending off Nova. It's Wang Cam time. Netso Racing against VLX, the virtual life experience. Well, this is the pressure experience at the moment for Schuss. He's known as one to keep his head cool. Been in this situation plenty of time, the German, and he knows exactly what he has to do here. He's gonna fend off the inside and at least show Nova that there will be no just sending it into Paddock Hill. There's a little bit of a tap as well. I love how they actually go at it like it was the BTCC in the 90s. They're not afraid to rub at all. Look at that now, Welsh really starting to appear in the mirrors of Nova as well, just about a second behind, so he could quickly get back into this, that's for sure. Let's see now, Schuss running the softs. He will, I think, almost surely be aiming to take those softs to the end of the race, and the same goes for Nova. I would imagine Welsh to maybe have a bit of a trouble time doing that on the DS4. Now Wake and Sokyo, also DS4 users, they could as well have trouble saving the tires. You can see Sokyo a bit off pace here early on, but probably mostly because starting on the medium compound of tires, saving the softs for later in the race, maybe just acknowledging that there's no chance that set of softs is going to last the entire race here. Piolo in 6th place now, with T5 7th and Grosso down in 8th, so I think Grosso must have had some kind of bad luck as well. Good evening to everyone joining in as well. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you enjoy the show. You've tuned in early days here in round 2 of the TSR Super Touring. We have Chasse leading VLX Nova, and GT Welsh that is there for TSR in third place in that Lexus. Right now it's Nova having a look though into Druids here. It wasn't going to be skillful defending from Chasse, still not allowing any space to move up alongside. Oh, getting squirmy on the exit there of Graham Hill. And that is of course Nova in the 86. Also goes testament to the quality of the cars here, that we have 3 different cars within a second of one another, so they are indeed very close. The 86 looks very competitive though over race distance. Mind you, Nova finished second in the first round after having started from the back of the grid. And Welsh is really going for it, trying to close this gap. Let's go to the wang cam, I think, of Chasse it'll be. Yeah, indeed. And you could hardly stick a ruler in between them. They're so close. When managing not to plow into the rear end of Chasse in front Nova, that's impressive, with just a tenth of a second's time to react. Skillful stuff here. I think Nova has the run. There's a bit of a bump into Paddock Hill, and Welsh is optimistically looking for some way into that battle. Piolo now pitting in, so that might be for the damage picked up earlier for the Stang driver. It's been a little bit of bad luck indeed for him, as we're on board with Welsh. This battle for first place is very much a giver. That's a big slide on the grass there for Nova. Let's have another look. Oh, we shan't, at least not now, because Nova's actually making descent. Oh, that's a very nice move, but they all both get pushed off, and this might be the moment for Welsh to move on up. It's already gotten passed on Chasse. Though Nova now in first place, a car too far, and that was a close one indeed. That's a bit of a medieval expression, I guess, almost. Shall, but look at that one. I mean, they do well not to have contact. Chasse just accepting to run wide because Nova sends it at a rather obscene place. But Nova with the pace advantage, it seems. VLX is flying. Welsh keeping up nicely, but about half a second behind at the moment. Going wide though into Paddock Hill. Might open the door for the chasers behind. Chasse going wide on the exit of set corner, and here is Druids, and they're close yet again. Let's go on board another time here with Welsh, as he's now challenging for the lead of the race. That 86 really seems to like the scent that it's being given. The Lexus has the top speed though, that is for sure. Did I actually manage to say that we have 3 different cars within the top battle? We actually don't, because it's 2 Lexuses and a Toyota, which technically is just 3 Toyotas. So the first non-Toyota Corp car is the Hyundai of Wake in 4th place, then a BMW in 5th, and then the 2 Stangs somewhat down the order here. Wake trying for a best lap of the race so far at this point, seeming to really pick up the pace. The Belgian, I've thought about that, Martin, but I think we had a discussion, some of us at some point, where it came to the conclusion that it was Lexuses, which I really like the 2 Lexi. I think it would be the best way to have it, that's for sure. But Wake indeed setting a good pace here. Chasse also even after losing first and trading that to third place, still very much in with a shout. Lexus. That's for that's for you Dutch guys and dudes. Oh, I saw 2 Lexuses coming on the street the other day. They look nice, but not as expensive as BMWs or Mercedeses. Oh, we have a retirement from Splurge. I wonder if that is a frustration or a disconnect. Watch out who you calling shitbag. Or I'll mess with your kilometer teller. Nova still leading Welsh. It's around a second now, so the VLX car is beginning to drag away from the 2 Lexuses. Oh, it's so bad. Just wanted to say Lexi. But it's Lexus 2 and 3 with the Hyundai of TSR Wake not too far behind. The Squirtmobile. Oh, the damn PS4 died. I had a sad and bad feeling that that was what happened, Splurge. So that's a big F indeed. Hello, Stick. Nice to have you along. I hope everything is well. This Nova really beginning to pull away Wake. Oh, I'm sorry, Welsh, who's lost an additional 0.7 of a second. So now it seems also slowly getting caught to by Shasa from behind. Here is Sokyo in 5th place. Not too far off, given that Sokyo's been running those mediums here early on. But mind you, that of course there is an advantage in running one set of softs for the entirety of the race if you can keep them just somewhat fresh. But they are the fastest set of tires, obviously. Another advantage, of course, is that those around 6 seconds, I think it is, that will take you to change tires. Well, you save those as well, and in the end, that can be some important seconds here. We have a battle on our hands, though, for 5th place as T5 Black, the Swedish survivor, T5 Svart, is now catching up to Mr. Sokyo in the nuke shot BMW. Bets on results. I bet Traels first. And I'm writing in chat as well. Because Traels is like in the top 25 or so of street stock drivers in the world right now, I think. So that's my bet. And of course, T5 will not accept anyone else in his favorite P5, and he is absolutely going for it. Look at that determination to get that P5 back. He's top 10 already. Oh my god. Late to that party, I see. That doesn't make it any worse, huh? Here comes T5 though on the outside. Oh, if that's gonna work out, that's gonna be a very good send. Oh, and Sokyo makes it a little bit less interesting by dipping into the pits, though. It was low on fuel. There was no real choice for Sokyo, who's gonna drop down the order somewhat here. Welsh still accompanied by Shasa, who's been really closing in, and Nova, who's been running away at the very same time. And this was somewhat earlier in the race, so that's of no interest. Exactly, Martin. Just making the move seem like it was all nothing, but it was a very nice move from T5 Black indeed. The Swede is now up into P5. Look at what it says on his roof. Will we be able to see it somehow? No. But it says hashtag Swedish Survivor. I like that. The Joker livery though is also very nice. I don't think Sokyo necessarily started on a full tank of fuel. I wouldn't definitely not expect that, but let's see about that here. Nova, though, extending the advantage now up to 3.8 seconds. Welsh in, Welsh still holding on to that second place, but it's just 0.7 of a second down to Shas in third, and then Wake slowly but surely dragging his Belgian behind in that Squirtmobile back into podium spot contention. Of course, fourth place is always going to be podium spot contention unless you are a terribly long way behind third. And that's not the case for Wake. 1.8 seconds at the moment, so that's another second he's gone into. And of course, Shas is somewhat being held up by Welsh up in front, so we'll have to see what the pit stop round is coming up at some point soon here will do for these three cars, still quite close to one another. It's around 10 seconds down to the Lexus of TFM Svat and TFM. Just to make you like realize that I'm happy, I'm very happy also to make fun of other Scandinavian languages and their English dialects. I actually love that. So any chance to make fun of the Swedes or the Norwegians as a Dane, I'll take it. So Nova, oh, just as we catch Nova with a bit of tires on the grass, and Welsh with a big slide, it seems. And a bit of a track cut, so that's the reason. But of course, you want to throw the car over there to just be able to carry maximum speed. Shas is actually doing a super job at the moment of plowing back time. Oh, stick. Oh, and just as I look at the chat to read Stick's messages, Welsh just manages to overcook it there on the outside of Paddock Hill, and that indeed means that Shas is now up into second place, back up into second place. Welsh back down into third. Man, Wake getting closer and closer. Getting a slide on the rear of the car, just managing to keep it under control, but once he goes off, there's no real keeping that. And Shase seems to also be in with the pace advantage now, as we're nearing the halfway point of the race. We're expecting the cars to begin coming in soon for that pit stop round. Of course, all the one-stoppers are going to try to keep it as late as possible. Hello, Benji. Nice to have you along. I hope you're doing well on this, I was about to say holy Thursday evening. It isn't holy at all, is it? But on this Thursday evening it is, so nice to have you along. Anyways, we've got T5 in P5 in that number 79 Joker Lexus. We've got Piolo 6th and Grosso, the Portugueser, and the two Stangs 6th and 7th with Sokyo in 8th after that early pit stop in the M4, and of course running in last on track at the moment due to the unfortunate disconnect of Splurge. We had the same kind of thing happening to Flick Flock. Oh, you're in bed already. That is sounding good to me. I just want to get the workday tomorrow over with so we can get the weekend running. I'm looking forward to this weekend though, since I'm having some birthday appointments and some good cozy funny stuff coming up. Since it's my birthday on Monday, and I'm almost turning 30, and that's still a year to go before it's a big round day. So, but it's nice anyways, getting older. Level up, level 29. With Welsh, who's already lost quite a bit of time to Chasse, down by over a second now, really seeming to begin to suffer on the tires. Here we are on board with Wake, who's now very much gunning for that podium place in the Squirt Hyundai. Jimmy, when you use your Alex Nickel profile, it's very weird for me to call you Jimmy. So now you're Alex, which is your actual name, which is even weirder than I always. But anyways, you didn't make it, and that's sad. Nils, nice to have you along. Welcome to your mate. It's been a while, and I hope you are doing good. Good stuff, Jimmy. We'll have Jimmy here. That'll make much more sense to everyone. And Grosso, the Portuguese, are now back up into 5th place. Sokyo back up into 6th, I think. Oh, no. No. Not at all. T5 keeping at least 6th place. And there's going to be a battle with Grosso then for 5th. Yeah, that Alex guy is such an asshole, Jimmy, I know. I'm good, Nils. It's nice to have you all along. So, join this good race. And I am enjoying the fact that tomorrow's Friday. Which means that, as I was just speaking about not more than a few minutes ago, I'm looking forward to the weekend. But then again, who isn't? Except for the people who work on the weekends and who are off on work days. I guess they exist in this 21st century world. Oh, did we have Nova pitting in? Yep, we did. That's a full load of fuel and an outlap to look at as well for VLX Nova. Now we have Welsh pitting in as well and changing tires. So Welsh will be on fresh mediums while Chasse is extending the stint even further, and Nova is now running, I think, is going to be ahead of Welsh. And by the looks of it, so could Wake be indeed. That was a long pit stop for Welsh indeed. Actually coming close to Grosso there in the Stang, just half a second off. Wake is up into 3rd place by quite the margin indeed. Oh, and hello, Felix. Nice to have you along. The livery wizard, indeed. Although we have quite a bit of, quite a number actually of livery wizards amongst us. Jimmy, for one. Unaleska, nice to have you along as well. And Nils, what kind of holiday is that in Germany? I'm interested to hear. We have Welsh and Grosso going forth. Wang came time. Cheers, Benji. See you soon, mate. All the best. Welsh already seeming to find the car, let's just say, differently balanced. And that rear end is slidey. Look at that. Very Japanese. It's expression indeed. Jimmy Stick did not make it. Chasse is still extending it. That stint's been going on and going on and going on. But mind you, of course, Chasse's car is light at this point, so he won't really have any trouble gaining on Nova, who did not change tires, still running that original set of softs. It's now 10.8 seconds between Nova and Wake. That, of course, in turn means that Wake has had that pit stop as well. And from that is 5 seconds clear of Welsh in 4th place and Grosso still 5th. And then it's the Swedish survivor T5 Black in 6th place. T5 who finished 3rd in the first round, so a little bit of a dip in form compared to race 1 for T5 Black. The 24 hours for Anna. Of course, that's a good thing to mention. We're working on putting together a team of people that'll work on bringing you the races from the 24 hours for Anna, which will be 6 races, if I remember correctly. Well, that's going to be an interesting one. It's happening the same day that we're doing a joint race with the Imperium lads in iRacing 24 hours from the Nürburgring Gesamtstrecke in iRacing as mentioned. And we are, I think, equally parts terrified and excited about having to do it. We're going to race the extremely entertaining Porsche 911 Cup car. It's a serious bit of fun. So mostly excited, also a little bit terrified about that. But we're gonna be, I think, if Imperium puts in 4 drivers, and we're gonna be 3 drivers at least. So at least 7 lads. That's gonna be nice for a race around a track. So so intensely demanding on focus. Now Shasa finally pitting in. Let's see if Nova's gonna get past. I actually think so. Indeed, so the overcut not working anyways for Shasa. Filling up the tank, not having to fuel save on the second part of it here. Shasa though is a long way back by now. That's 8 seconds. Exactly, Unileska. 6 4-hour races. I'll have a look at that. So we're gonna be trying to bring you as much as possible from the 24 hours of Anna. And as I said, I'm working on compiling a competent team of entertaining commentators, all representative of our lovely community here at Half the Race Gone. Some of the core lads will be in with me, and maybe Traels as well. Actually, somehow I've managed not to mention this to Traels yet. Here it is, Traels, the idea. Hope you're still listening. You're probably doing street stocks. As we're looking at Shasa, P2, it's Wake there in P3. For the time being, Welsh is in 4th, and it's all for the first time here as we are past that Half the Race Gone marker. It's all beginning to settle in, and as I say that, it's still close between Welsh and the Portugueser. It's of course in Grosso in 5th place. The core lads and Traels. Well, I mean, it's just because Traels doesn't do an awful lot of Gran Turismo anymore. So that's why I put it that way. Of course, Traels is very much the corest of a lad in this context. Oh, that's Welsh being slidey yet again, managing to be fast and slidey at least, but slidey nonetheless. You get a kind of bad feeling that he can't keep on being slidey like that with success. And then Grosso is beginning to smell blood, I think, out in front there. Well, you wouldn't want to be in doubt, would you, Martin? Good call, Armored Core as well. You got an extra stang this time around as well, Rabbit, in the form of Piolo, who's now in 8th place though. But 2 stangs it is. There's more than 1 stang. And out in front, it's a 9.7 second advantage for VLX Nova. Just about 16 laps of racing left to do. It looks very good for the virtual life experience. And mind you, he and Shasa will be very much tied on points if these results go all the way. And Wake, though, seems to be closing the gap to me. It's only 3.3 seconds between Wake and Shasa. So there's one that might turn very interesting here over these laps, just over the last 15 laps of racing. The banter is strong with you lads in chat. I can't even follow on. I'm giving it my best of attempts. Certainly ain't working out that well for me here. Now look at that. Sokyo is now beginning to appear in the mirrors of those two. Question is, will Sokyo have to pit again because of that terrible fuel consumption of the M4? And I know this myself. I think I mentioned it last week as well, but I've raced that M4 before. I certainly have suffered under its fuel consumption. Now Ingrosso still close enough to Welsh, but he's lost about 7/10 since he was the closest. Oh, that's not gonna be savable for Ingrosso, who's hammering into the wall. Lost it through the final bit of Dinkeldale, and just after that Sokyo manages to go off in solidarity but doesn't slam into the wall in the process. And that's of course a little bit better. Let's go on board with Ingrosso for another look. Completely misses the apex but does it at full speed. Scrapes the wall big time, and that's going to be an extra pit stop. It certainly is, but well timed with just 3% of fuel left for Ingrosso, who was apparently aiming for a 2-stop strategy anyways. That's certainly gonna minimize the time lost. Mind you, this is not iRacing, so damage is repaired rather quickly. It's not like you're gonna be looking at 30 minutes of being stuck in the pit. But coming back to something we've spoken about a bit in the channel Discord, with this iRacing thing really growing on, at least within our community, with more and more of the folks joining in, it just it's a different thing, and you of course also need a different approach, since crashing out often actually means crashing out, which it after all doesn't do here in GT Sport. But with these competitive races, you surely can't have any crashes and still hope to be in contention for race wins here, as Wake in 3rd place has lost a bit of time. That's actually a couple of seconds that's been lost up to Chasse, and a bit of time bled. Second for Traels, not bad at all, although I bet on first, so Nova does not need to pit, no, I don't think so. So it's looking very good here. Sokyo in for that final stop. I think this is going to be fuel only this time around. Out comes Sokyo into P7. Nova is now up by 11.5 seconds. So really showing Chasse a clean pair of wheels. I was about to say but a joke is so bad, and then I start laughing at it myself. That's just what's in Danish called falliterklæring. But anyways, it's Chasse there second, and it's a very static gap to Wake I call must have made some kind of mistake. Probably just going off into the gravel at some point. I could have lost about 2 seconds. Welsh is slowly but surely falling behind, and after the pit stop and the bad luck there and following pit stop for Grosso, of course, there's a bit of space in behind Welsh to catch up into. At the moment it's T5 Black back up into P5. With that pit stop, splash and dash it is, and tires for T5. That's a bit more than splash and dash to my concern, and certainly not going to be P5 anymore. That is for sure. You done, Martin, you really done jinxed it. They come out to go side by side yet again. Up through, it's down towards Graham Hill. It's Sokyo keeping a hold of 6th place. Piolo in that staying is now up into 5th. So that just shows how quickly things can be turned on their heads now. Piolo was in last place for quite a while and has now jumped right up the field as we're closing in on the final 10 laps of racing. Indeed it is. It's like the Warp Brothers, he will survive. What is up, Todor? Nice to have you along. I hope all is well on your part, and it's a very good question. The ×4 fuel consumption, to be honest, I have no clue how much they'd actually need. But I am a little perplexed that T5 went in for such an amount of fuel. We've seen some of the other drivers managing to do half a race on a tank full, so but they might be fuel saving heavily, you never know, so it's a good question. Back on with the wang cam here from Sokyo's Beamer. Oh, T5 just about surviving. Yet again, oh, T5, please survive. Oh, and that's Wake. That's the second pit stop for Wake, who also needs a bit of fuel here. And that's a tire change. I think that's going to put TSR Wake out of podium place contention again, because I have an idea that Welsh is on a very much just on a one-stopper, and the same would go for the other two podium candidates at the moment, Nova and Shaza. And Martin and Traels, how has the Porsche Cup been treating you? I haven't been able to race it since I don't own Catalonia, so I've been missing it. Oh, you both answer at the same time, equally depressive, yet, yeah. Well, I'm sad to hear that. Oof. That's a big oof. Oh, that's a big oof indeed. So it has not been well, I hear. That I'm sad to hear. Oh, that's Nova also getting a bit twitchy, exiting. Paddock Hill. Here comes Chasse. Very much on an island at the moment. 12.5 in front, 12.5 behind as well. Well, best of luck to you, Traels, Martin, my lads. I hope you can survive this one. In third is Welsh, then Wakeforth, Piolo in the Stang. In fifth place, getting chased down by Sokyo in the BMW. And then T5, who's down into seventh place. And we'll see exactly how that goes. With that big off before, of course, cost T5 quite a bit of time. He's now slowly but surely gaining back on Sokyo's a little bit off there on Graham Hill as well. And that's gonna cost all the way down to Surtees. Nova still extending the advantage. It's looking very good for virtual life experience at the top of the standings for the time being. And can I just say one thing? We've had quite a bit of viewers compared to the last long bit of time, and how is it nice to have so many of you watching tonight. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy having you all along, and that's all I wanted to say. Chasse is in for a pit stop, and Chasse has picked up damage. And it's outside of the range of my cameras, but that's gonna turn the entire top three on its head here. Now Wake getting very close, Piolo pitting in from 5th place, and Welsh is of course up into 2nd now, and Nova is well clear then. Nova well clear in 1st now, of course. Chasse in 3rd place, 3.5 seconds ahead of Wake, with 6.5 seconds of catching up to do in front. Of course, the pit stop from Piolo there has left Sokyo back up into 5th place, and that's left T5 terribly close to its destined position. It's gonna be quite a bit of defending to do here for Sokyo, I think, over the last 10 laps of racing to keep 5th place. That in turn will be a good result, for that BMW seems to be, let's just say, heavily hit with the fuel consumption indeed. Through Westfield and Dingledale. Oh, Sokyo, watch out with this. Just about making it easier for T5 than it needs to be. Moving off track there. Nuke shot, Sokyo in trouble. The pressure just about got to him. And outbraking himself as well. Made it easy for T5 in the end. Of course, that battle is far from over if Sokyo is able to keep up with the Swede in front. It was called many a times. 'Twas called. Welsh in 2nd is actually doing very well of holding on to that position and holding on to the gap down to Chasse. Of course, Welsh with those worn mediums, Chasse on those. Oh, and that's Nova pitting in. So, as I thought Nova was gonna make it to the end of the race, I was wrong. I was very much wrong. But it's gonna be a splash and dash for Nova, and a much more sensible half a tank of fuel coming in. Though that gap is certainly not 25 seconds anymore, it is by no means something that Nova has to worry about. And I guess it's about 15 seconds. That'll be my guess. 14.5 through Paddock Hill. So still comfortably in the lead. VLX Nova. Bonjour, whoop. Or bonsoir, whoop. Tout va bien, mon pote? I don't know, I've forgotten all of my French all of a sudden. What an embarrassment. Oh, whoa. Welsh getting very, very, very wide indeed. Another look is needed. The slidiness got a bit too much for the Welshman. And there won't be... I mean, he cannot really afford to have too many of those types of incidents and offs. Just as I say that, stuff getting hectic for Welsh, who's losing time at the moment, really bleeding it to Chasse in third place. This might get close as we're coming in towards the absolute final stages of the race. VLX Nova well clear out in front, Welsh second, Chasse in third. Oh, and what is that? That was quite a bit of something. A thing called gravel. Oh, and he's really collected a lot of that. Well kept in the end by GT Welsh. Look at that piece of car control. What are you even doing driving racing cars? Go rallying. For God's sake, go rallying. You're on board, we are. Chasse is not that close yet, so we can have just another look. Look at this here. Welsh sails wide, picks up the gravel, gets sucked out in there, and just keeps that slide going all the way around. I don't know how many drift points that is. Junior Plato. That sounds like a dancehall singer from the 1980s. Oh, as well. Just a huge Tokyo moment there. But he's managed to keep it at least out of the wall until now. But that having to defend for 6 more laps from Chasse, who's now right on his tail. That's not going to be possible. It's actually going to be a late pit stop for Welsh, who's suffering on the fuel and who was not able to keep the fuel running, and that's now put Wake back up into third place, only 3 seconds off of Chasse, and gaining at the moment in the Squirt Hyundai. Certainly in a good position here. Welsh is back out into fourth, T5 still in P5, and it's all changing here late stages. Only thing that seems to be certain is that Nova, with a 19-second advantage, is going to go all the way. I can't really see such a consistent driver as VLX Nova with such an advantage, ample time to give, make any really bad mistakes. But it seems that the pace of Nova still is higher than Chasse chasing in that Lexus. So the 86 in front is doing well for itself, and so is Nova behind the wheel. It's 2.8 seconds. I think Chasse will be fighting Wake off for the rest of the race. And at the moment, that Hyundai is gaining ever so slightly. Fresh mediums for Wake. And fresh mediums as well for Chasse. So it's a question of who can keep the nerve cool. And indeed, Nova. Somebody please nerve this guy. Nerve him. Nerve him. Ah, but he does need a nerve. With this kind of performance. Let's give him more ballast than the game even allows us to. Samba bus confirmed. So it is the last 5 laps of racing for VLX Nova in that 86, leading the race, and has been leading since lap 1, more or less. Chasse in 2nd place for the time being. A very good start, but the pace just seemed to falter ever so slightly, and now Wake is really beginning to pick up the German in front. It's down to 2.3 seconds. So the Belgian has gained half a second over the last lap or so. And then it's around 9 seconds down to Welsh in 4th place, who's pretty maroon. Pretty much on an island. Same goes for T5. Then it's the Portuguese are in Grosso in 6th. It's Sokio 7th and Piolo in 8th place at the moment. This is the Squirtmobile. The car in front is, of course, the car of Chasse. Just see. He's pulling time out of that Lexus in front. Being quite aggressive here, losing a bit then himself. Aggressive under braking, a good line for Wake. If he gets into the slipstream, in a good position all of a sudden. Here is Sokio in the pits for a little bit of extra fuel and a fresh set of mediums. You're very close to the end of the race. Why would you put that much fuel in this late? Of course, I know the BMW is thirsty. It cannot be that thirsty. Come on. Of course, the magic marker for Wake is around, what is it, 0.8 of a second, 0.9 of a second for these cars before you really start getting into the slipstream and being able to make extra gains. At the current time, it just seems like it's a little bit off. Oh, Chasse! I think Chasse made a big mistake there. Oh yes, very much hitting the dirt while braking, losing big time through that corner. It's now down to 1.2 seconds. For reasons, Ollie Polly, that I'm not quite sure. I don't know. It's not the first time he's had weird stuff. Squirt could be a soda in Belgium, but I'm not quite sure. I'm just not quite sure. But look at this, it's really closing in as we are 2.5 laps from the end of the race. 1.3 seconds is the gap between Chasse and TSR Wake. This could come down to another crazy last lap pass like we had this Sunday and the Nuke Shot Endurance Series, where TSR Wake ended up taking the win from VLX Crazy John on the last lap through the final corner. And sure, that was very, very, very dramatic indeed. Now more gains being made here in Wake, really getting close to that magic 1 second marker. Through the final corner, I think Chasse is running a little bit wide yet again. Is Squirt an American soda from Arizona? Well, there it is. So that's why it's Squirt. Within a second, he is now looking to get within the slipstreaming distance as well. And he's gonna need more than just being able to catch up, obviously. He's gonna need to find a way past on Schatz's Lexus as well. But they are on the penultimate lap by now. There's 1.5 laps remaining. It's less than a second between second and third place at the current time. That is actually quite funny, to be honest. I hadn't actually thought about the fact that it's an American soda. Like, does seem like Wake is in with a bit of a pace advantage. It's down to 0.6 of a second now. Through this middle sector, he's really gained on Schutte. Into the final sector they come. Wake on a very good lap as well. Seems to be perfectly keeping his concentration here, the Belgian. They're gaining big time on Welsh behind T5. They're still just pretty far from one another, of course. Nova, they're not gonna touch out in front, although they are gaining on that VLX 86 that's leading the race as well. And yes, Jimmy, it's very much a Wake thing. The king of Sugar Rush performance, of course. It's always with something sweet on his car, and it's not damn words. Not because he's a poet. Now on the final lap, and Schutte is going for it. He's going for defending it all the way to the line, and I think he'll be happy that there isn't any more racing to do when they cross the line this time around, and Wake runs out of road to actually find a way past. And meanwhile, VLX Nova is gonna complete a dominant display. Oh, the final lap, ladies and gents. On the final lap. That would have been spectacular indeed. That was, I think, a little bit closer than Nova would have liked, but nevertheless, here it is, the checkered flag for VLX Nova. The virtual life experience wins round 2 of the Super Touring here, and with that, Schutte now really under pressure from Wake coming into the final corner. They're just about 0.2 of a second from one another, and the Hyundai is trying to get the run here, and they're really, really close. This might go to a photo finish in the end. He's trying to block him off, and he does so successfully. And with that, Schutte keeps second place. For Netso Racing, it's TSR Wake in third. For Sugar Rush Performance, it's gonna be Welsh, the Slidey Man, in fourth place. And that lovely livery, can I just say, very nice HTRG car. Beautiful indeed. P5 for T5. So all is indeed well in the world with the Portugueser and Grosso in 6th. We've got Piolo 7th, and in last place, in the place of peasantry, his chinness. It's Sokyo. Having done a brilliant race, actually, Sokyo being competitive as well. Here they are, the race results. And I don't know why Wake backed off in that. Maybe he just figured that he wouldn't get past. Maybe his fingers slipped from the PS4 thing. Good question. Indeed, sorry for eating on stream. Just got hungry. Had a bowl of crisps in front of me, and then I did the unapologizable thing of actually having one. Anyways, let's have a look at the race results yet again. Should you be in any doubt, I'll have to present you with a moment of bouncy heads. And then I'm looking for the party. There isn't any, so I will perhaps bouncy head. I was looking for the party chat and I found it.
Welcome to.
Hello, lads. Good race. I'm just gonna suggest that we invite our first and second place finishers. So that'd be Shosse and Nova. I think Wake has to accept it.
Okay, wait.
Hello, Shoma. You are just about late. You're in perfect timing for the interviews, the best part of it.
Where can I find it? Suggested?
Just like in the party, I think. If you go into the party settings.
Thank you guys.
Invite players.
Did you find it?
There
Oh.
are no players. What?
What? You could just. I mean, you could just invite Nova and Shosse yourself.
Yeah, I did.
Good. But we'll start with yourself, TSR Wake, third place. It looked like, at least for a few moments there, that you were gonna have a very good run at another very late pass for podium places on the final lap. It wasn't exactly to be, but talk us through your race in a few words.
It was a good race. Started on soft tires, then it was a great stint. Tried to fuel safe behind Shosse and Welsh, and then I went into the pits knowing that I still had to stop again because I don't have enough fuel till the end, and decided not to change tires. The softs were pretty good, and then decided on 13 or 12 laps before the end I was going to change on the medium tire, which would be a fresher tire compared to the cars in front. Then Welsh fell back. I was closing in on Shosse, and then my car decided there was not enough fuel on the line, so I couldn't overtake Shosse. Yeah.
So that was it, okay, because there was a bit of wondering why you backed off, but that's a very reasonable explanation indeed. Congratulations, Wake, on third place and a great race. Do we have Shosse in the party, or he didn't join, did he?
Shosse, where are you?
No Shosse. To hell with Shosse then. I didn't mean that. But to hell with the interview with second place, then we'll hop straight to our race winner with an absolutely dominant performance, light to flag victory, VLX Nova. You made it look easy today, was it?
Bit Jason Plato.
Well, Nova, in the end, a great race, a very good result as well. Now tying with Shosse for the championship lead, which makes round 3 coming up next week all the more interesting. And we thank you for that as well from our perspective here as broadcasters. It's of course nice with some excitement. But anyways, racers, thanks for racing. Thanks for such a good race. And to all you people who's been watching, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. It has been an absolute pleasure having you along. If you haven't, consider liking the video. If you haven't as well, and if you really like what we do here, consider subscribing to stay in touch with what we're doing here. And I think that's gonna be all for me tonight. We're gonna be returning this Sunday, or is it next Sunday? I never remember with the NES pause dates.
It's next Sunday.
It's next Sunday. Thank you for that. So No apparent planned streams this weekend, but I'd be surprised if we don't find a way to throw an iRacing stream or something this weekend. So until next time, we hope to see you soon. Take care, have fun, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.